my first time here at ClueCon, by the way. And I actually didn't expect it to be, I thought it would be a massive, with lots of people. And so I actually love this because we're much smaller, and hopefully I get to make 1 or 2 connections through next 2-3 days. My talk this afternoon is about how we can get voice AI, and especially voice AI over the telephony, out of the enterprise into everyday people. Most of us here, obviously, when we deploy these agents, what we are looking at is the interest, we are looking at an enterprise client. So how do you move away from focusing on an enterprise client and try to focus on your everyday person, someone who has a birthday party or a baby shower? Those are the kind of people I'm talking about. Or you have an outbreak of disease somewhere in your community and you need to deploy a voice agent, maybe for community members to be able to call in and find out, get information about an outbreak of a disease, or basic community information. That's where this project that I started about a year and a half ago focuses. And just in case, if you're interested in going through the slides as quick, much faster than I'm doing, if you go to planet.brainy.com and view the full slides, you should be able to get those slides. So as I was introduced, I'm Michael Mwebaze. I'm originally from Uganda. I'm based in Virginia. That's where I live. I've lived there for the last 12, coming to 13 years now. My software developer, I started as a network engineer, deploying routers, switches, Juniper routers, Juniper switches. The days around 2006, 2007, eventually morphed into a developer, developing in Java, initially C++, and then C++ became too complicated, so I migrated to Java. So from Java, kept morphing into different frameworks, and virtually I've reached a point the last 2-3 years I'm trying to go back, kind of creep back into networking, telecom, and that thing that I started with, and this I ended up trying to focus maybe on signal wire and a bit of Twilio as well. So my agenda is going to be, I'll probably not have time to go through all this. I thought I would have about 45 minutes, but 30 minutes might not be enough for us. But I'll try to go about why this matters, why voice AI matters, the current barriers to entry, our platform. It's a platform that I've been working on for the last year and a half. Hopefully, it won't break and explode. Someone was convincing me to join the, what's it called? That one. I'm not so sure I'll be able to do so, but hopefully it does not be so dangerous right in front of you in the next few minutes. So why voice AI? Obviously, we all here, we are aware of what voice, how ubiquitous it's becoming. Everybody seems to be, it's catching, people are interested. The last speaker spoke about LLMs, and these are now all over the place. If you go to Hugging Face, there are just tons of them over there. And then, of course, with smartphones, and then the limitations. So we tend to focus more on the enterprise. And for me, the last point is what I'm so interested in. I want to be able to, hopefully with a group of support from this community, be able to deploy these agents for the everyday person, for a community out there. So what stops the spread of some of these technologies? Obviously, it's the high cost if you're going to deploy an application to use OpenAI. and you want to make it for you want to provide it to a community, obviously there's a cost. Then you need developers. So the tool we are trying to develop tries to focus on a non-developer, if I might put it that way. How many of you have used WordPress or Drupal? That's the idea, you'll be able to deploy Drupal. Someone can maybe go in and create content. So that is the idea. Then obviously the integration is difficult. And then the nature of AI infrastructure is also a challenge, especially when you're thinking of deploying this for your everyday person. So our vision is that everyone should be able to deploy a voice agent. That's very ambitious. And also our focus is on the non-developer. And hopefully with the help of SignalWire's Fabric API and their platform, we'll be able to achieve this, at least to some extent. I'll not go into all this, but some of our vision includes, our hope is that we can have integrations with different public health systems or ERPs or CRMs. Our hope also, our vision is that it becomes community-driven as well. Then something else, especially the second point, design it for global audiences. One of the biggest challenges we have right now is that accents vary, and some of these LLMs find it a bit difficult to figure out what someone is talking about. So the last speaker talked about how they have gone through the process of training their own models. Hopefully, with time, we'll have models that can be used in different parts of the world, especially in regards to accents, because sometimes I come from a place in Uganda where we say tomato, and then you come here, it's tomato, they say zebra, it is zebra. So, and there are other words that tend to change a little bit because of the influence of the local languages that people speak there. So they need to train tools that have a global audience that support multilingual models and different regional accents, and would be very important. So at a very, very, very high level, the tool just helps with the creation of an account. Then you can go in and configure an agent. The application itself is built on using SvelteKit. I don't know how many of you have used SvelteKit? Svelte.js? Okay, There is one, Svelte.js, mainly SvelteKit. That's the entire application is built around there. It makes just multiple calls to SignalWire. It makes use of MongoDB. And the knowledge base, depending on how big the knowledge base is that you've given the agent, part of it might end up in a Mwebaze database. Mwebaze is a vector database. And locally, if you want to run it locally, you could use Ollama or even point it to OpenAI. So let me quickly go through this demo. So that is the bit that is actually, hopefully I can go through this. What I have a few questions. I get questions from you guys. So just quickly, obviously you can see your numbers that you've purchased, and all these are just API calls to SignalWire. Really, most of this. There's a bit of Twilio somewhere, but that's not so much. But 90% is built on top of SignalWire. And then there's billing. You can look at your billing. And then here you manage the people. You can purchase a phone number. And over here, this is the part that I'll be demoing today, the agent management. So the whole idea is that this will be open. Anyone should be able to get it, deploy it, or fork it, and build on top of it, or and communities can, just like how you have Drupal or WordPress or whatever, be able to deploy this for your users. So I'll just go through a simple use case. Now here we have what we call types of agents. You have informational agents. We have shop store voice agent interacts with stores live inventory. And then you have event assistant, shares event schedules, session speaker info. Basically, your everyday person, for instance, a teacher at a school might come in and say, you know what, maybe I can create one of these agents. If I just quickly select this, the information, it's basically straightforward. You can select the phone number, assign it a phone number. You can assign the language. Right now, these are the only two that are pre-configured. You can define a prompt here. You can enable the agent, and you can give it a knowledge base. This is the most important bit, because you define your knowledge base, enter it here, and then that agent will basically answer questions of this knowledge base that you've defined right here. And at the moment, there's a limitation to the size here, because this goes into a MongoDB. But if it goes beyond a certain size, then we have to, when we are chunking it, we make use of Mwebaze database, a vector database for similarity search. So the other one is a simple shop and voice attendant. What it is, it's nothing but a simple, if you have a store, you can enter here your items. Say shoes, you have one of them each, say at $50. You go on and on and on, depending on how. Some of our, in the roadmap, we hope to include the ability to upload a CSV file where you can import some of these things. And the knowledge base will come out of this data that you feed it. And as you can see, for that, you don't have the knowledge base down here, because it generates the knowledge base out of what you give it here, what you give it right here. And then the third one we have built in, we hope to build quite a number, but this is just an event assistant as well. So this will generate its knowledge base from the events of your calendar that you create on your calendar. So you come here and say, enter ClueCon. And then you give it a description. Hope nothing breaks. And then this knowledge base, the knowledge base for this particular agent will be based off your calendar events. In future, we hope to have integrations for things like your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar, or whatever calendar. So that's pretty much it. So the one I'm going to demo real quick is just some information assistant. There's a pin. It's set. You by default you have a security pin. You can obviously disable that. And I have some quick text here. I haven't been to Uganda in a while, so I'm just going to say my agent is just tourism in Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Churchill, the great Churchill, actually called Uganda the Pearl of Africa. and then I'll give it just that prompt, and then I'll copy all this as its agent. Now, some of the things that probably I might not be able to demo are things like this security pin. If you enter it 3 times, obviously it will. We are able to collect the number of times you attempt to log in, if I might put it that way, and then we blacklist that phone number, and then that number can be the owner of the agent can eventually. I mean, for one reason or another, you might be attempting to enter the right PIN number, but your accent might be different, or you might be saying something differently, and the AI just can't pick what you want, so you might get blacklisted. And that's it. Then you enable the agent. The moment you say enable the agent, fingers crossed, I hope nothing blows up. It should be deployed. Now that's the number to call. I don't know how I don't know from the signal wire people how many of us can call this number and we without. So the password was 7714. Oh, left my phone over there. I don't know if someone can. I mean, so the whole idea is that now you should be able to call this agent, and it should be able to answer questions based on this knowledge base. That's about it. And then just one more thing, obviously, then there are bits that are still under development. Obviously, this takes a bit of time to develop. So there are things like we hope to have fairly some kind of visualization dashboard for each agent, so, and then eventually a dashboard for the calls per number and so forth and so on. So those are things we haven't been able to build in yet, but that's the idea. And hopefully we'll have a community around to support and help us develop that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Now, before we get to any questions from Michael, I just got a quick question for you. Who's been trying to download the open source GPT model this afternoon? Well, at least one person. Just wondered, because I noticed the Wi-Fi bandwidth was sort of going up and down a little bit. Wonder if there was a mass download going on. Thank you very much, Michael. Has anybody got a question or two for Michael? We do have time for one or two. If you have, raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. I'm looking very carefully. I can't see any hands. I think what it is, Michael, is people are very excited about the coffee heater with the wireless phone charger.
I think so.
So are you here for the rest of the event, Michael?
Yes, I am.
Are you going to be at the Gigabit reception tonight to celebrate 20 years of Free Switch?
Yes, I will.
Brilliant. Another round of applause for Michael. Thank you, Michael.